So in today's video, we are going to be going through and looking at who are the current favourites to be promoted and relegated from League 2. Who do the bookies think will finish where in the upcoming 2024-25 campaign at the time of recording near the end of July. I'm going to try and do this maybe a monthly or bi-monthly sort of series, and I guess we'll just see how that it goes throughout the whole campaign. But if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 150 likes on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're now on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with the bookies and all that sort of stuff? There's certainly some interesting picks in today's video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But let's waste no further time and get straight into it. In at 24th position then, they currently have Morecambe FC, and I think that's very understandable. I'm pretty sure a couple of weeks ago I predicted Morecambe to finish bottom. That was at the time before they'd made them, was it 15 signings in one announcement, which was absolutely crazy, but I think they only had about 4 or 5 players when I did that video. Now they've made a lot of signings, but I'm looking at the quality of these signings and I just don't really think it's there, in all honesty. I could see Morecambe going down next season. I just have a feeling though with Derek Adams, he always seems to find a way with this Morecambe side. But some of their signings I wouldn't say I've been impressed by, but I think they are solid additions. The likes of George Gray coming in from Barrow at centre-back, I think he will be a solid option. Adam Lewis as well, a good young left-back, 24 years of age. Luke Hendry, very experienced right-back. They brought in some experience in midfield as well. Their striking options who they've signed, I wouldn't say I'm massively impressed by. I don't think Hallam Hope is going to be a goal scorer. I don't think Ben Tollett is really going to get them goals either. Obviously, they tied down Gwion Edwards to a new longer-term contract at the start of the summer. If he can regain his form from his time at Peterborough, and I think that will be a really good piece of business for them. Overall though, I can certainly see why they've currently got Morecambe in 24th. In 23rd position then, they currently have Bromley FC, and again I think it's very understandable. I think I'm also right in saying I had Bromley to finish in 23rd when I did my early League 2 promotion and relegation predictions, but I look through the Bromley squad and I don't know too many of the players, in all honesty, and I feel like I'm quite well knowledged amongst the lower leagues in England and even in the National League as well, but I don't know too many of their players. I like the signing of Marcus Dinanga. I think he's coming up from Gateshead on a one-year contract. I do think he could be a decent signing, but apart from that, I've not really heard of many of these players, in all honesty. Obviously, Byron Webster at 37 years of age brings a lot of EFL experience, but I can certainly see why Bromley are down there. Do I think they'll go down at the moment? I can certainly see it, in all honesty, and yeah, I can kind of understand why the bookies currently have Bromley to be relegated this season. In 22nd place, and just avoiding the drop, they currently have Harrogate Town. Now, I feel like Harrogate are always everybody's relegation favourites, or in and around that sort of position in the table, but they always seem to end up finishing around mid-table. They have actually got some really good players, so I'm going to have to disagree with the bookies on this one. I think Harrogate will finish much higher up than this. Like Anthony O'Connor in defence was brilliant last season, Matty Folds, Levi Sutton, Josh Falkingham, George Thompson recently signed a new contract with the football club, which I think is massive for them. Matty Daly had a really good season last year. I like the signing of Ellis Taylor as well. I look at their striking options and think maybe they could struggle for goals. They've not really replaced Luke Armstrong, in all honesty, since he left the football club in January, but I think Harrogate will be fine next season. I don't see them being in any type of relegation battle, so I'm going to have to disagree on this occasion. In 21st position then, they currently have Newport County, and again I think it is kind of understandable. I don't know off the top of my head who their new manager is. I can't say I've heard of him before, in all honesty, but the fact Will Evans is still at the football club I think is enough to make sure they won't be relegated next season. They have made a lot of signings, but a lot of unknowns, in all honesty. A lot of players between the age of 20 and 25 who are kind of getting their first real opportunity at EFL football, and that'll go one of two ways, in all honesty. I think Newport could certainly struggle next season. I'm looking at the real experience in there, and there's not much experience with quality. There's kind of got just a bit of everything whilst also having nothing, if that makes sense. Like Newport are a little bit of an unknown for me going into next season, so I can see why the bookies do have them down there at this moment in time, but because they have kept hold of Will Evans at the time of recording, I think they're not going to be in too much danger of relegation, but I can certainly see them being down there. In at 20th position then, they currently have Accrington Stanley. Now, while they have lost a few key players this summer, the likes of Jack Nolan going to Gillingham, Pritchard as well, moving on to MK Dons, I think they have recruited very well, in all honesty. I like the sign signing of Ferran Rawson from Morecambe. I think that's a very, very good experienced signing in there. They brought in the strike pairing of Jimmy Knowles and Kelsey Mooney as well from Boston United. It'll be interesting to see if they can make the step up into the EFL, 23 and 25 years of age respectively. I think them two could be the next Accrington players to come from non-league. I mean, that step up into a big League One side, the likes of Dion Charles going to Bolton, Colby Bishop as well, going to Portsmouth, and I think them two could certainly be on the next path really to doing that, in my personal opinion. I don't think Accrington will be in any real danger of relegation next campaign. They're never really in and around there in League Two. I think it'll probably be another mid-table finish for them, but I can't see them being as low as 20th. In at 19th position then, they currently have Swindon Town. Now this one surprised me a little bit. Not because you would expect Swindon to be in and around the playoffs, just because they're one of the bigger clubs in the division, because we all know last season that they were absolutely terrible once Dan Kemp and Jake Young both left the football club in January. But look at some of their signings. Harry Smith, experienced EFL goal scorer, comes in from Sutton United. Ollie Clark, one of Mansfield's captains. I'm not really too sure who was the Mansfield captain, because it always kind of seemed to change, in all honesty. They never really seemed to have a specific player, but Ollie Clark was a very experienced player in that dressing room, and he wanted to move back down south, and I think Swindon have got an unbelievable player on their hands there. They've brought in a lot of younger players. I really like the signing of Will Wright coming in from Crawley Town. That's a big loss for Crawley. You know, he's made that step back down into League Two. Longello and Sobowale as two wing-back options, 24 and 25 years of age respectively. I think they could be two good players for the future, and they still had a little bit of quality in there from last season. Likes of Saidu Khan can be a very good player at this level. Tyreek Uwakwe as well at 24 years of age, still has a lot more to give. Aaron Drinnen, if you can keep him fit, will be a very good player at this level. I'm going to have to disagree with the bookies on this occasion. I can't see Swindon being as low as 19th. In 18th position then, they currently have Grimsby Town. I think it's kind of understandable how they ended last season. Their recruitment so far looks promising, but it's not enough really to kick them on any higher than 18th, and I probably will have to agree with the position they've currently got them in. Danny Rose at 30 years of age, he's an experienced EFL goal scorer. He's going to guarantee a minimum of 10 goals, probably 15 as well next season if he stays fit. Charles Vernon has proved in the past with Bradford City that when he's fit and available can be a very good player at League 2 level, but didn't really do it much last season because of that injury. Some of their signings have been interesting, in all honesty. I like the signing of George McEachran coming in from Swindon. Tyrell Warren as well joins from Barrow, but they've lost Malarkey, the centre-back. He's gone to Crawley. I think that's quite a significant loss, in all honesty. I think their midfield looks a bit light. They certainly need a few more recruits in at them positions, but apart from that, I think Grimsby won't be in any real danger of relegation. I think 18th at the moment probably is about right. In 17th position then, they currently have Barrow AFC, and I feel like with every season, Barrow are predicted to finish around the lower part of mid-table, then they end up challenging for the playoffs pretty much every season. Now, I know there's been big change around the management team. Obviously, Pete Wild leaving the football club. They brought in former Gillingham manager Stephen Clements as well, and some of their transfer business so far has been interesting. I like the loan signing of Andy Dallas from Barnes. I think he could score a few goals next season. Emil Aqua, Dom Telford are experienced strikers at this level. Conor Mahoney comes in to the football club as well. He certainly had an okay season last year with Gillingham, obviously previously worked with the manager. Theo Vassell coming in from Salford, I think he's a good sign, and obviously James Chester going the other way. They do still have a lot of quality in their side already, the likes of Dean Campbell, Robbie Gotts, Niall Canavan, and I think, you know, Barrow, they're going to be fine next season. They're going to be in no real trouble of relegation. I think they'll be a little bit higher than 17th in my personal opinion. I do think 17th is quite harsh. In 16th position then, they currently have Colchester United, and I can certainly see why they're not going to be 22nd, because they always seem to finish 22nd and just about manage to avoid relegation by the skin of their teeth. Some of their recruitment so far though has been good, it has been promising, and I feel like with Colchester next season they're either going to finish 18th or 3rd. I'm not really sure that we're going to see an in-between there, in honesty. If Danny and Nicky Cowley can make things click there, they will be a force to be reckoned with next season, because some of their recruits have been very good. Lyle Taylor, while he's got a bit of an ego and all that sort of stuff, obviously will score goals at League 2 level. They've already got the likes of Samson Tavide, Bradley E. Hoveen. I really want to apologise for pronouncing that one wrong. I know I've absolutely butchered that, but them two youngsters, obviously they did lose the likes of Jay Mingy and also Jaden Fevrier to Stockport County, but Arthur Reid is one of the best central midfielders in this division, in my opinion. They've still got Mandela Egbo and some of their recruits. Tom Flanagan comes in on a free transfer from Shrewsbury. Matt Macy brings a lot of experience as well in between the sticks. Rob Hunt can play either side of fullback and is a very good player. Jack Payne is an outstanding signing as well after his very impressive campaign last season with MK Dons. John Kaimani Gordon is a bit of an interesting one. I think if they get another striker in and get maybe Tom Hopper out the door, I certainly think Colchester could be challenging next season, and don't be surprised to see them make a charge for the playoffs next campaign, because so far so good for Colchester. In 15th position, the Bookies currently have Tranmere Rovers, and I think that's a little bit surprising in all honesty. I think Nigel Adkins did a very good job when he went in there last campaign, and their squad hasn't changed too much. I don't think they've lost anyone too significant. I'm confused by the signing of Josh Davison. In all honesty, he really struggled at AFC Wimbledon, so I don't really understand that signing, but if there's anyone who's going to get the best out of someone like Josh Davison, it will definitely be Nigel Adkins. I really like the signing of Cameron Norman coming in on a free transfer. I think he turned down a new contract with MK Dons. Luke McGee's one of the best goalkeepers in this division for me as well. I look at their goal scoring options. I'm not seeing many there. You know, Harvey Saunders never really scored goals. Luke Norris, if he's fit, will score goals, but has struggled with injuries. Hasn't really worked out for Christian Dennis there. Connor Jennings works very hard, but he's not going to get double figures in terms of goal contributions. Regan Hendry for me is one of the most underrated midfielders in the division as well, and obviously no Rob Apter for them this season, which is obviously a significant blow for them, but on the whole I think Tranmere will probably be a little bit higher than 15th for me. In 14th position then, they currently have Crewe Alexandra, and while they've lost a few significant players again, like the likes of Rio Adebisi moving on to Peterborough United and a couple others, I do think they have recruited fairly well. Omar Bogle and Kane Hemmings, two very experienced EFL strikers. I think they'll get probably 20 goals between them in honesty. I really like the signing of Jack Lancaster, who's come in from Cambridge United. Max Sanders joining for an undisclosed fee as well from Leyton Orient, I think is an absolutely brilliant signing. I think there's still clearly a lot more recruitment to be done with Crewe Alexandra, but so far it has been pretty promising, and I think they'll be a little bit higher than 14th for me. In 13th position then, and the final team in the bottom half, they currently have Cheltenham Town, and I think it's understandable that you don't really know where to put Cheltenham, because some of their signings have been really good. The likes of Luke Young coming in from Wrexham, Owen Evans as well coming in from Walsall has proved to be in the past a really good goalkeeper at this level, but they've signed a lot of unknowns, a lot of younger players, or the likes of Ryan Haynes, for example, the likes of Scott Bennett, I feel like have just come in because Michael Flynn's the manager and he worked with them at Newport County, and I feel like Cheltenham for me will probably be in around 16th. I don't see them being as high as 13th in my personal opinion. They've lost basically all of their team from last season. I think they've only 2 or 3 players who are still there. I actually did a video with Cheltenham fan and YouTuber Matt MS a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, talking about what went wrong for Cheltenham over the last couple of seasons, so make sure to go check that video out if you haven't already. But yeah, I feel like Cheltenham for me probably won't be as high as 13th in my personal opinion. Before we go any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. We are aiming for 150 likes on today's video, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We're now on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below who do you think will be promoted and relegated from League 2 in this upcoming campaign, and let's move on into the top half. In 12th position then, they currently have AFC Wimbledon, and again they're a bit of an unknown for me because they've lost some good players, they've signed some decent players, signed some unknowns in all honesty, but I'm really not convinced on Johnny Jackson as the manager, and I look at their striking options. I think they've done great business to get Josh Davison out the door. Matty Stevens, if he can regain his form from a couple of years ago, I think he'll be a really good signing. Joe Pigott, I personally see him flopping there. I just feel like when you get a player returning to the football club with high expectations, I think he will fail to deliver. James Tilley has proven to be a good player at this level before, but it's about getting that consistency out of him. Miles Hippolyte I think could be a decent option. Jake Reeves, if he can keep him fit, will be a really good player for them next season. It's defensively though where I worry about AFC Wimbledon going into next season. Their centre-back quality isn't really there for me. Both their goalkeeping options are okay for the level, but nothing really to stand out. I definitely can't see Wimbledon challenging for the playoffs at the moment, and I think maybe top half might even be a little bit of a struggle, to be fair. An 11th position then, they currently have at Fleetwood Town, and again, Fleetwood are very much an unknown going into next season. We don't really know what Charlie Adams' managerial ability is like, because when he went in at the Cods last campaign, their season was pretty much done. What the damage that was already being done by the previous 2 managers was already there, and I feel like it was almost an impossible uphill task for Charlie Adam, but some of their recruitment so far, I must give it to them, has been good. Zek Medley comes in, I think from a Belgian side. I think that's a really good signing for me. Matty Virtue, lots of experience in that midfield. Elliot Bonds has been very good with Cheltenham over the last couple of seasons, and they've got some proven EFL quality in there, the likes of Danny Mayer, Ryan Broom, who didn't really perform at last campaign. I think they need to get a proven goal scorer in through the door, because they've got a lot of younger players, maybe from the Irish leagues who are we'll wait and see how they get on, a little bit of an unknown, but I think they need a real quality at number 9, as they did lose Jayden Stockley this summer. I think he went to League 2 rivals at Port Vale, but I think the Cods will be happy with a mid-table finish this season. I don't quite see them being as high as 11th at the moment. They've still kept hold of Brendan Weirdo, which is probably their best piece of business they could do all window if he stays around. Phoenix Patterson as well, still with the football club, but they have got some good players. Do I see them being as high as 11th at this moment in time? I'm going to say no for me. Into the top 10 then, at 10th position, they currently have Walsall FC. Now, this one surprised me massively because I look at Walsall's transfer business so far this summer, and I'd say their squad is weaker than what it was last campaign. Losing Isaac Hutchinson was a very significant loss for the football club, and while Charlie Lakin is a good signing, I don't see him being able to replace and replicate them goal scoring and assisting numbers that Hutchinson pulled last campaign. They've re-signed Josh Gordon, which for me is an absolutely baffling signing. They've already got Jamil Matt, who doesn't really score goals, so to sign Josh Gordon, who scored 1 or 2 goals in like last 500 years, doesn't really make sense to me. He's never really been a goal scorer, in all honesty, apart from maybe a decent season with Barrow. But I look at their business, it's baffling. Albert Adoma could be a decent player, but he is now 36 years of age, and some of their other signings as well are a little bit of an unknown. They brought back David Okabu to the football club as well. I think he spent last season on loan with the Saddlers. Connor Barrett, I do like that signing from Fylde, 22 years of age, long-term contract. I think he could be a bit of a success. Ryan Sturck, again, only 23 years of age, lots of EFL experience. Liam Gordon, very good player at just 25. They've got some decent players. I'm not convinced though on Matt Sadler as a manager, and I don't quite see Walsall making a top 10 at this moment in time. In 9th position at this moment in time, they currently have Salford City. Now, this is very, very surprising for me because I look at their squad and I feel like it really, really, really lacks quality. I'm concerned about Salford going to next season. I would have them down at this moment in time as a relegation candidate, and I know some people might look at that and think, well, the Salford City, they've got all the money in the world. Look at the quality in their side. There's so many players who are past it, in my personal opinion. Ben Woodburn is an example, 24 years of age. People look at that and think it's an unbelievable signing, but he's always injured, always injured. He's burst onto the scene so young, and now he's kind of just completely fallen off a cliff. John Taylor spent the majority of the last couple of seasons injured. Some of their better players now are the wrong side of 30. Cole Stockton could be a decent signing, but hasn't really done it since leaving Morecambe. In all honesty, was okay in the second half of last season on loan with Barrow. Conor McElhaney, again, wrong side of 30. Matty Lund, wrong side of 30. Ryan Watson, wrong side of 30. James Chester, now 35. Luke Garbutt, now 31. Curtis Tilt, now 32. I worry about Salford going into next season. I think Carl Robinson can be a decent manager. I don't think he's going to be successful though with Salford, and I see them being nowhere near 9th going into next campaign. In 8th position at this moment in time, they currently have Notts County, and I feel like it'd be interesting to see where they would have the Magpies if Macaulay Langstaff was still with the football club, because at the moment they haven't replaced him. Yes, they've already got 4 strikers with the football club, the likes of Alassana Jatta. I'm excited to see how he gets on as the main striker going into next season. Sedwin Scott, I don't see him making a step up into the EFL. Juni Marias, for me, should move on. He's still got another 2 years left on his contract. Dave McGoldrick, I think, will be decent to have as an option on off the bench going into a next campaign, but again, it is now 36 years of age. I look at some of their signings though. Kellan Gordon, a little bit confused by that signing, in all honesty. Curtis Edwards, I like that signing, a lot of experience in the midfield. Nick Tsurualua, you all know my thoughts on him, unbelievable signing for the level. Rod McDonald, I think he'll be an underrated signing, in all honesty. He'll probably play every now and again, start out maybe as a backup option, but I think he will be a solid signing. Matty Platt and Jacob Bidu, 2 unbelievable signings for this level. I'm really jealous that Notts County will have them 2 in the defence next campaign. Alex Bass, for me, a little bit overrated, but still a really decent goalkeeper at this level, and that's not to mention the quality that they already have at the football club, likes of Scott Robertson, unbelievable midfielder. When Notts County beat us 3-0 last season, obviously I'm a Bradford City fan for those who don't know, Scott Robertson absolutely ran the show in the midfield. Matt Palmer, very good player. Dan Crowley, I literally have nightmares seeing him do pirouettes in that midfield every single night. Jody Jones, we all know about the quality he brings. Aaron Namane as well. On the whole, unbelievable squad, and I see them probably challenging for the top 3 next campaign, and that's even without Langstaff for me. Into the playoff positions then, in 7th place they currently have Carlisle United, and again, a little bit of an unknown going into next season. I feel like we know a little bit more about Carlisle than what we do with some of the other relegated sides, because they mean business going into this season. They've made some really smart, solid recruits like Terrell Thomas, Aaron Hayden, both bring a lot of experience in the defence. Cameron Harper, very good at left wing back for the level. Archie Davies, I don't know too much about, but seems to be coming in with a lot of expectations. relegation. Ethan Robson, will bring some quality in the midfield. Charlie Wyke returning to the football club as well, even though he wanted to join Bradford City. Carlisle chucked 6-7 grand a week at him, so I guess that one does kind of make sense. But some of their striker options are very similar, like to Charlie Wyke, Georgie Kelly, Luke Armstrong, are very, very similar profiles of strikers, but I think we can always count Georgie Kelly out of that because he spent the majority of his career injured. Harrison Neal, unbelievable midfielder for this level. Callum Guy, when he's fit, will be a very good player as well. Sam Lavelle had a really poor season at last campaign, but I think he could be a decent player for them this season. John Mellish, we all know what he brings, and still only 26 years of age. It'll be interesting to see, which Harry Lewis they're going to get. Are they going to get Bradford City's 22-23 Harry Lewis, or they're going to get the Harry Lewis from the 23-24 season? Because he can be a really good player at League 2 level, but last season struggled for both Bradford and definitely Carlisle as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does get on. On the whole though, I certainly see Carlisle challenging for the top 7. Still think there's some more business to be done. That midfield needs a little bit more creativity in there for me, but Paul Simpson is a defensive manager, so I don't think he's going to play too many creative midfielders in there, but I certainly see Carlisle as a 7th place prediction as not a bad one, to be fair. In 6th position, they currently have my team at Bradford City. Now, I personally don't see us finishing as high as this at the moment. I think we'll be in and around 10th, 11th, somewhere like that, because defensively, where we were so strong last campaign, we've lost 3 of our main centre-backs going into next season, and our recruitment in that position has been questionable, to say the least. Daniel Ugoke, obviously on loan from Brentford, has signed for Hearts. Jonathan Tompkinson was on loan from Norwich. I don't think he's gone anywhere at the moment, but will probably make that step up into League 1 to somewhere like the likes of Leyton Orient, Lincoln City, somewhere like that for me. And obviously Matty Platt going to Notts County. Now, the replacements, Neil Byrne has come in from Stockport. We've paid an undisclosed fee for him at 31 years of age. He's looked really poor in pre-season so far. Aidan Baldwin, I haven't seen actually play. He missed the first 2 games due to injury, and our most recent one was obviously in Austria, and I'm not travelling to Austria to watch us play a reserve side. That's just my personal opinion. Callum Johnson, could be a really good signing, but it's about keeping him fit, and I think he's already injured at the moment. I don't think he's travelled with the squad to Austria, so that one seems a baffling signing because, again, he's struggling for fitness. Kevin McDonald has been frozen out of the squad, which seems ridiculous treatment. Anthony Sarcevic, on paper, looks like a really good signing, but could it be a little bit too late? He's flat to deceive so far in pre-season and is now 32 years of age. Tariq Wright returned to the football club, which I don't personally like that signing, in all honesty. Some of the quality, though, that we've already got there. Andy Cook is going to guarantee 15 goals, probably 20 in all competitions at the absolute minimum, but I feel like he could really fly next season. I'm backing Cookie to get at least 20 league goals. Jake Young has proven out on loan at Swindon last campaign that he can be a really good goal scorer at this level if used correctly and if not frozen out the squad. Bobby Poynton recently signed a new longer term contract. I'm excited to see how he gets on at next season. Jamie Walker, while it seemed he was quite interested in maybe moving to Carlisle, he's going to be staying around for another season. Alex Patterson, if he can stay fit, will be an unbelievable player for us this campaign. Brad Halliday as well recently signed a new longer term contract with the football club. He was brilliant for us last season as well. Clark Adore, I have high expectations for him going into this season, but defensively I really am worried. Sam Stubbs looked poor in pre-season. Aidan Baldwin doesn't come with high reputation. Kelly is steady for this level. Lewis Richards can play left centre back, but I feel like his lack of fitness concerns me, in all honesty. And I've already mentioned Neil Byrne. I'm not really too convinced by him, and I feel like we will probably get another backup goalkeeper in there because our goalkeeper average age is around 35.5 at the moment, which is far too high for me, in all honesty. But I definitely don't see us finishing as high as 6th, but as of right now I would definitely take 6th position. In 5th place they currently have Port Vale, and for me this is a little bit harsh. At this moment in time, at this specific moment, I see Port Vale winning the league, and I think it'll be quite comfortable as well. I think it'll be at least 6 points that they end up winning the league by. Some of the players that they've signed, goodness me, the rest of the league is in trouble. Ryan Croasdale is coming from Stockport County. George Byers has come in from Sheffield Wednesday. Ronan Curtis has come in from AFC Wimbledon. Rowie Patton and Lawrence Talaj, I think, are 2 unbelievable goal scoring signings. Billy DePepper still at the football club and only 17 years of age. Jaden Stockley has joined the club as well. Ethan Chislett and Ben Garrity, last time they were in League 2, caused a lot of problems as well. And I just look at some of the players that they've got. Goodness me, League 2 is in trouble. Recently signed Ben Hennigan as well from Fleetwood, a very experienced signing. I think there's still another couple defenders away from really running away with the league, but I think even at the moment they're definitely going to win the title for me, and I think 5th place is very harsh. In 4th position then, they currently have Doncaster Rovers, and at the end of last season, Grant McCann said, you know, if you're not wanting to win the title with me next season, then I'm not interested in you. And I look at Doncaster's recruitment. They made some good signings, some questionable signings. I think their best bit of business they've done all all summer is tying Owen Bailey down to a new 3-year contract. But some of their signings have been good, the likes of Joseph Barra coming in from Solihull Moors. Jordan Gibson, I think, will be a decent player at this level. They've brought back Tom Nixon to the football club, but we've got to remember they lost Harrison Biggins in that midfield and haven't really replaced him. They lost Hakiba Doulakan, and I wouldn't say on paper have replaced him. They have brought back Billy Sharp to the football club, 38 years of age. I see him being more as a backup. Rumours of Joe Ironside going to Wrexham seem to have cooled a little bit now as well. They tied down Luke Molineux to a new 3-year contract. There's the potential there for Doncaster to be successful next season with the likes of Ben Close in the midfield, but I look at their centre-back options and I am concerned, I'm not going to lie. Tom Anderson at 30 years of age, I think he's past it, and I know Doncaster fans quite like him, but he's just not my cup of tea, in all honesty. Richard Wood, 39 years of age. I think he brings a lot of experience, but I think as time goes on throughout the season, he's going to be able to play the full 46 league games, 90 minutes consistently. Centre-back is probably the position where you want somebody of that ilk, but I still think he might struggle with the game, in all honesty. And I think Doncaster will certainly be in and around the top 7. Fourth, though, for me, probably a little bit too high. I already know that that's going to get clipped up and tweeted at me a million times when Doncaster inevitably beat us 2-0, but moving on then to the top 3. In third position then, they currently have Gillingham FC, and I think that's quite understandable, to be fair. They're going to build on last season where they already had some very good players, likes of Conor Masterson, Shadrach Oge, Ethan Coleman, Tim Dieng, some very, very good players at this level. George Lapsley still with the football club at the moment. Ollie Hawkins has been playing as a centre-half throughout pre-season, but I still think there are another couple strikers away. I think they need to get rid of some of the ones who are currently on the books, likes of Ashley Addison. Never really done it for the Gills, in all honesty. Jack Nolan, though, is the pick of the bunch for me in terms of their signings. Very good player at this level and an unbelievable season last year with Accrington Stanley. Some of their other signings, though, like Elliot Nevitt, Aaron Rowe, I'm yet to be totally impressed by. They both come in after spending last season with Crewe Alexandra. I think Aaron Rowe was on loan there from Huddersfield Town. There's still a lot of work to be done with that Gillingham squad, and obviously they lost Dom Jeffries. Was it Dom Jeffries? Something Jeffries to Lincoln City last week, which I do think was quite a significant loss. But on the whole, for me, I think Gillingham will be in and around that top 7. Top 3 at the moment, though, I think looks a little bit of a stretch at this moment in time. In second position, they currently have MK Dons. Now, if Port Vale are not going to win the title, it will be MK Dons for me. Their recruitment, every single one of their signings has been absolutely incredible. Sam Sherrin comes in from Northampton Town, unbelievable signing. Luke Offord comes in from Crewe Alexandra, unbelievable signing. Lawrence Maguire comes in after spending last season with Crawley Town, unbelievable signing. Tom Carroll, lots of experience in the midfield. Liam Kelly, unbelievable signing. He comes in from Crawley Town. Tommy Lee comes in from Accrington. Joe Pritchard also comes in from Accrington as well. Conor Lemonheigh Evans and Callum Hendry coming from Stockport and Salford respectively. Yes, they lost Max Dean, and that is quite a significant loss, but you look at what Mike Williamson built last season, they're going to look to build on that, and I'm very, very scared about facing MK Dons on the opening day of the season. I'm glad that Max Dean has moved on, but goodness me, the rest of their squad is absolutely terrifying, and I'm really not looking forward to playing them next campaign. But on the whole, you've got to give them credit. It's been an unbelievable window for them so far, and you can certainly see why the bookies have them up there challenging for the title at the moment. And winning the league at this moment in time, according to the bookies, is maybe a little bit surprising, but it's Chesterfield FC. Now, I think they've looked to build on last season. They haven't made any real signings for a number of weeks now, but they've got a lot of experience in there. Paddy Madden at 34 years of age, proven EFL goal scorer. Shea Dunkley at 32 as well. He comes in from Shrewsbury Town on a 3-year contract. Lewis Gordon as well. I think he came in on a 1-year deal from Bristol Rovers. I think could be a solid signing, but I look at some of their other players who are already in that squad, and I think maybe they're past it a little bit, like Michael Jacobs, Tom Naylor. I could certainly be proved wrong. Will Grigg in there as well, but I'm just a little bit concerned maybe about some of the experience in that. I really like Darren Oldacre. I think he was really good with Dorking, has only built on that through his time with Chesterfield. If the opposition are going to allow Chesterfield to play through Darren Oldacre, then they will be in it for a long day. You cannot let that man have time on the ball. I still think there are a couple defensive recruits away from really challenging for the title. I think they'll be in around the top 10, top 7 for me, definitely. But I'm just a little bit concerned. I don't see them winning the league at this moment in time. I think this one is certainly a little bit of a rogue prediction from the bookies. But there we have it then. As of the 25th of July, that is what the bookies currently think the league table will finish as. Let me know down below what surprised you the most. I'd certainly think having Swindon as low down as 19th, having Walsall and Salford as high as 10th and 9th, only having Notts County in 8th position, having Chesterfield win the league. There's certainly some confusing ones in there in my personal opinion, even having Harrogate as low down as as 22nd. I think that's certainly a baffling prediction, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how the season does unfold. If you have enjoyed watching today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 150 likes. As I said at the start of today's video, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're now on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below, what do you agree with, what do you disagree with, most importantly, and where do you think your team will finish next campaign. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.